Hello, and welcome to Detect Live. Detect is an industry conference put on by Anomali, brings together practitioners, subject matter experts, and end users to share insights into best practices in threat intelligence and new developments. It's been growing continuously since we started it in 2016. And this year it's going to be a little different. It's virtual, as many conferences are becoming. And so we hope to generate that same kind of excitement remotely. So one of the benefits of the fact that Detect is now virtual is that it allows us to provide a more inclusive experience to the entire global security community. And I would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors for helping us to achieve this. COVID has affected security in many ways, and some of them very directly. So we know that COVID has created a lot of hardship for people around the world, all the way from financial issues to mental and physical health problems, struggling to help children with their remote logistics and learning schedules, and even losing loved ones. And we feel for people everywhere. I would also like to thank first responders, healthcare and essential workers around the world for your service. Some of the challenges in cybersecurity are more cultural than technology challenges. And one way to help is to build technology that solves some of the cultural roadblocks. For example, it's long been an imperative that organizations should share information with each other. But what happens in practice is typically they're comfortable sharing in one direction, which is receiving information. And so it became important to build technology that would make it easy to have a very structured way to share so that people knew you were sharing security-related information rather than corporate IP. Collaboration is important because it's essentially like building a neighborhood watch. So there are adversaries, malicious actors that are going after organizations and people all the time. It increases every year as opposed to decreasing. And so the more people can put their heads together, share information on what they're seeing and what responses work best, the better it is for all of us. Detect is a big part of building that sort of community mentality and the neighborhood watch mentality. Every year at Detect, we see a large number of practitioners and researchers, and I think they get very comfortable with the notion that all the information that you contribute actually helps move the state-of-the-art forward, and so there is a purpose behind sharing information, and I think that's one of the big benefits of the conference. The volume of threat intelligence that people actually have to analyze has grown exponentially over the last several years. It used to be in the early days of Anomali that on average a customer would be managing roughly around 100,000 threat indicators, and several thousand of them would be changing daily and weekly. So I would say that was maybe 2013, 2014. Within a year, it had grown exponentially to over 1 million indicators each organization was managing and curating and looking at. And the following year, it grew to 10 million, then 100 million. Now we're managing well over 1 billion active indicators. And what's important is not just how many indicators have been seen, but how many of them are still active, how many of them are now no longer considered active. So you don't want to spend a lot of time looking at indicators that are not only not active, but they're actually back to being maybe normal benign systems. So you don't want the false positives that would occur from matching against one of those. So this has really become a big data problem that has spawned its own necessity for dedicated technology. This has been one of the areas that has fascinated us since very early on. And we have actually built technologies to handle the scales that are involved. And we think this is a big part of the evolution of threat intelligence, is both the big data problem and then abstracting it to a higher level of information so that people don't have to deal with individual indicators manually anymore. And I would say these are two of the areas that are really evolving rapidly in threat intelligence. I would like people to come away with several key takeaways from the Detect conference. One of the key things should be to take away a sense that we are making progress, come away with an understanding of how things can be improved. In other words, which advances can be profitably applied to your own situation, what best practices can be adopted, what are avenues for increasing the skill set of your organization and actually measuring the effectiveness of what they're doing. So in other words, better ways to keep a useful scorecard, better ways to apply the tools and options out there, and better ways to learn the tradecraft. We hope you enjoy the event series. Stay safe, stay informed, stay connected.